Hi everyone, Carol Mahoney here of Unbound Growth, coming off of our weekly live sales lab, where salespeople come and help other salespeople and get help with what struggles they're facing on a daily basis. This week, we were going to talk about questions. More specifically, brainstorming questions to ask our buyers, because we can always come up with more and better questions. But today's participants weren't struggling so much with what questions to ask, but instead we're struggling with what is preventing me from asking the questions that I know to ask and should ask, but I'm not asking them when I should. Some mentioned that they're just completely forgetting to ask. Others talked about wrestling in their minds with what is the next best question to ask. Most of them felt that they weren't getting the right questions in at the right time. So why does this happen to us? When we get excited, when we hear buying signals, or flustered with objections, and we start talking to ourselves in our heads, it means that we're letting our emotions blind us to what the next question to ask is, or it's causing a skip in our brain, and we want to get right to it, and so we forget the questions. When we're not in the present moment with our buyers, we're getting caught up in our heads, and we're missing the important pieces of the conversation. So how do you stop that from happening? I've learned recently that the principles of great performances correlate to how salespeople need to prepare and practice to stay in the moment with their buyers. So first, preparation. And I don't mean do your preliminary research, because that should be a given and you should be doing that no matter what. But I'm talking about preparing yourself mentally. So before your calls or your presentation, you could warm up your voice. You could stretch out. You could practice speaking slowly. You could also do maybe a meditation for 5 minutes or do a breathing exercise. You could also prepare as part of your daily lifestyle. When you take care of yourself physically, it's going to impact your mental health. Eating clean, getting movement every day, reducing your stress will all impact your ability to control your emotions when you need to and stay in the moment with your buyers, to remember those questions at the moment that's right to ask them. Professional performers and salespeople that are top salespeople also practice deliberately. They plan for their calls with research, of course. They write down questions to start conversations with. They look for ways to make it all about the buyer and their goals. They rehearse with their peers and their superiors. They examine their call recordings and they pinpoint places that things went great and maybe places where they also need to improve. Then they go back and they practice more on those things. Emotional involvement and emotional control are the things that are preventing you or enabling you to ask the right question at the right time of the right person, to uncover urgency, to cover the impact of problems, and to also find out from your buyers how you're going to differentiate from everybody else.